Hey, what's up, everybody? Lyndon Alvarez here with Buddy Effects, and I want to personally thank y'all for purchasing rock lights. It's sort of like a tongue twister. Personally thank y'all for purchasing rock lights at VideoHive.net. So, thank you. We've got a really cool project file. So, let's just go ahead and get started. Now, assuming your computer is on and the project file is open, you're seeing something similar to what is on screen right now. You've got your main Rocklights folder, you've got your Rocklights PR folder, which is for the pre-renders in case you don't own optical flares, which it's not necessary to have optical flares for this project file. You have your footage, and basically the footage is going to be everything in these comps over here. And then also we have our presets, and then basically we've got a little shutter streak preset and a wall of lights in case you just want to start from scratch and create your own wall of lights. Just a quick way to get started. But we'll get into those later. Let's go ahead and open up Rocklights and see what we got. We've got our four main comps: our flashy blue comp, our lavender comp, our orange crush comp, and our retro wash comp. Now let's just go back to the flashy blue comp for the sake of this demonstration, and you'll notice some numbers: 1, 2, and 3, and this is basically where the animation starts. And with all these numbers is where the white flash starts. It'll start white and then it'll just bloom out to the actual lights and titles. So if you hit the home key, you'll see that's completely white, and then going forward over time it fades out. So you can turn off the white flashes, and then over here, here's the fade out. Like say I selected and I hit U, and let me just minus out. You can see over here, this is where it fades out. So if you don't want it to fade out, it doesn't have to, but it's there in case you need it. Same with the flashes, although I'd recommend having the flashes on. And yeah, let's just go ahead and turn these off and look at our camera controls. So you can select camera controls, go to effects, and over here we have our heading, our pitch, our bank, and this is actually going to be our zoom. So you can rotate them. There's the heading, so it sort of leans back. We've got the pitch, so the pitch is to the side. We've got our banks, and then our zoom. So that's that. So let's say you wanted to animate some of these. Well, let's go ahead and let's get right on that 3. You want to make sure right there, because that's where the keyframes are set, so you know exactly where to go. And I turned off the white flashes because on you really can't see where your camera's at. Now you can sort of see over here we've had like a bird's eye view looking down. I'm just gonna go ahead and mess with these. Let's tilt it more. Let me go back. I don't want it as dramatic. There we go. We switch the pitch. Bake it a little bit. Just give something just random and zoom in. Why not? Probably zoom in more. So now all you have to do is turn your white flash back on and do a quick render and see what it comes up with. And the cool thing about this is it'll always go back into place as long as you make sure to line up with one of those numbers and animate the camera. And so as you can see right here, you've got Title 1, Title 2, Title 3, and Title 4. This is basically Title 4, and it has a black back plate behind it, and you can see it's accurately labeled. And basically just get the text tool, just highlight it all, put whatever you want for your title. Then you can go ahead and hide that, select the one behind, and put your title in. Whatever you want to do for your title. Turn that back on and render out, and everything is good to go. And of course it is the same for the other titles as well, and you can see they're all in order. Now this is going to be your optical flares. You turn that off. Optical flares is off for all the lights, and this is going to be your lens cap. So that's that. Now let's just go ahead and go over to the retro wash. For the retro wash and the orange crush, we actually have some wash filters on them. So you turn that on. There's a curves filter applied to give it a little bit more of a crush, and there's a 4 color gradient turned on too. And you can see if you turn the wash off, it just doesn't look nearly as cool. So that just basically gives it a retro wash feel. Okay, now I want to go ahead and go under the hood with optical flares. So select the optical flares layer, go ahead, click on options, and when you have it open up, you can see that there's just this little custom flare I made. Now scrolling down, you can see that there's an iris and it's actually hidden, but you know, you can add your own polygons or whatever and just, you know, tweak, make your own. I'm just gonna scale this up, scale this one down a little bit, select OK, and you can see it just changes it up and gives it another unique fresh look. So if you want some more training, obviously go to videocopilot.net and he shows you how to use optical flares extensively. But it's definitely a cool way to create, you know, awesome different flares, because nobody wants to be the same unless you, like, you know, work at McDonald's and you absolutely loved it, which would just be weird. I mean, I worked at McDonald's and let me tell you, that got old. I actually worked at this place called Church's Chicken, a Popeye's Chicken, KFC. I was like a chicken king. I didn't realize how bad I smelled until basically I had a friend who worked there. I had to pick him up after his shift where I wasn't working that day. So I go pick him up and I'm just like, wah, wah, dude, you stink. He was like, yeah, I know. You should just take me home first. I'm like, of course. You think I'm gonna take you anywhere smelling like that? I mean, is this how I smell? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna quit in a week and become a graphic designer. Okay, it really didn't go down like that, but I did quit. Thank God for computers, right? Okay, getting back on the subject, let's figure out some more stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and unshy, and I'm gonna go back over to the flashy blue. So you notice that when I unshy, that it gets a lot longer. And you look down and you see all these lights in order, and there's basically 150 lights. So that's a lot of lights. Now, as you can see, you have your flares. Now, flare B is basically in the first one. So your first animation, you turn off flare B, the light, and it's gone. So everything with the letter B, and you can learn more about this, you know, going to videocopilot.net, but everything with a B is going to take on the attributes in here. So this light has a B. This light has a C. That's for the second part. You can see, turn off any of them and the little flare disappears. And then D, E, and F are all for this last one, and they're flashing. So that's pretty much that. You see the lights, anything you want to change, you can select them and basically go over here and change the settings. But those are where the flares are at, so everything's organized and work well over there. We also have the motion blur on, and you can turn the motion blur on over here, or you can keep it off. It's your call, however you want to run it. Just make sure it's on for the comp and that the layers you want to blur are selected as well. As you can see, they're not selected right here, which is why you don't get a blur for the Rhyme preview. And you know, that's pretty much it. The same applies to, of course, the pre-renders with everything, minus, you know, being able to change the flares, because if you don't own optical flares, you really can't change too much. But you're able to insert your own titles and still have the same cool animation, and like I said, everything is there. So let's just go on to the presets really quick. Your wall of lights, like I said earlier, all it is simply a wall of lights. You can add your own font, your own title animations. You can copy some of the effects and place them on here so you can have, you know, just different looks. So that's that. And then here's your shutter preset. So let's say you get something you like take for instance, you animated the flashy blue and you thought it looked cool and it was good to go. You can just drag drop it in there. Select shutter streak, go to effects, controls, select one, control A, control C, click on flashy blue, control V, and you now have a shutter streak going over everything. And then from here is where you can basically render it out. Also, you can grab all of these, control A, and just drag them into your new presets, and then name it shutter streak. And so instead of copying and paste every time, you can just go to your presets, type in shutter streak, and then, you know, just paste it right on top of a comp to give it the look. So that's pretty much it for rock lights. I hope you enjoy the project and you get a lot of use out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me at videohive.net and I will get back to them. So until then, everybody, happy compositing, my friends.